Welcome to the Inspired Riding Podcast. I'm your host, Beth Lauren Parrish. As a certified riding instructor, remote coach, and rapid transformational therapy practitioner, a powerful form of hypnotherapy, I'm here to remind you to slow down, trust your intuition, and really deeply listen to your horse. And this will make for the best co-creative dances possible, whether you're on the ground or connecting on their backs. Thank you so much for being here, and here we go. Hello there, Inspired Riders. I thought I'd pop in and do a podcast about barn diplomacy. Now, the horse barn is supposed to be your happy space, your place of peace, right? But what happens when something disrupts that? More often than not, it's some human that's getting in the way of your peace, right? And let's face it, dealing with humans is not necessarily as easy as dealing with horses. I feel really blessed that I've had a lot of really amazing experiences at different barns, and also I've learned a lot of really hard lessons at them. So I wanted to share some insights for you to help. The first thing I want to talk about is creating clear boundaries. So if someone is really pushing you to do something you don't want to do, or you just feel uncomfortable in a specific situation, what I learned actually in my early 20s, someone told me this and it's been really invaluable. All you need to do is stand up a little taller. You can even put your hand out and say, "That's not okay." You could simply end with that and walk away. If it's someone you really care about and you want to explain further, you could simply say, "That's not okay. I need to collect my thoughts and I'll get back to you and explain why later." And if they care about you, they'll take a step back, maybe take a breath and go, "Okay, maybe we need to sort something out." If they are someone that is really aggressive and you put your hand up and say, "That's not okay," and they keep coming at you, that's when you get authorities involved, of course. But that should be a really simple and clear way to stand your ground and say, "No, I need something to change right now." So that's something where you need to really find that within yourself. You could almost think of it as a really strong mare that is just saying, "I've had enough," when their youngster is being a little bit pushy. So just channel whatever energy that feels good to you to get yourself in that confident state to say, "Hey, that is not okay." And then later you can collect your thoughts and explain why if you like. Then if you want to work something out with that person, you can say something really simple like, "What do you think a win-win could be for us in this situation?" This way you're encouraging them to look for solutions with you rather than putting them on the defensive. And I think that's really valuable. Another thing you can do is if someone's being a little bit out of character, a little bit snippy with you, or you just get a sense that they're not in a good mood and they might be taking it out on you, instead of getting agitated or annoyed as well, let your heart lead and simply say, "Hey, are you okay? Is something going on?" That's a lesson I learned that I really felt like it could have been used a lot sooner and it would have really helped the situation calm down more. So if something seems a little bit off, if there's a disturbance in the force, simply just turn to the person and say, "Hey, are you okay? Do you need to talk about something?" And that should help soften their energy a little bit. And even if they're not ready to talk right then, they'll acknowledge you for really taking that time and effort to realize that something's not quite right, and they're not trying to take it out on you. So that goes into the next part of really getting into your power and realizing that no matter what happens, you have a choice. And that choice is to send someone love or be completely indifferent to them. The opposite of love isn't hate. It's actually being indifferent because there's no emotional charge. And being indifferent is really sometimes a bit of a challenge. However, it's incredibly empowering because you can just go about your business and you can clear your mind of the clutter of wondering what they're thinking, and get yourself into a state of, I'm just going to do my thing, and whatever they want to think, they can think, and it's no big deal. I'm just going to go and enjoy my horse. And that's a really empowering thing. I know it's challenging, but the more you practice it, just like anything else, the easier it's going to get. So again, if something is really bothering you, you can just decide to send love to it or decide to become indifferent to it. It's a real game changer. Now, let's say something's going on with a horse that you feel is maybe not safe, not ethical. What do you do then? This is a tricky one. My first advice is if possible, talk to the barn owner first and let them know the situation and see if they can handle it so you don't have to confront the person. However, it might be one of those things where the horse might be in imminent danger and you need to just go, hey, maybe you can stop for a moment and rethink what you're doing. This looks really scary. And at least at that point, you've spoken your piece and you said it out loud, and you can just hope that they're going to do the right thing by that horse. If they're doing something that's maybe not super scary, but it's questionable, if they're open to it, just say, hey, are you open to other perspectives with what you're doing right now? And just leave it at that. If they say yes, then you can simply say, I've found success doing this. Not, you should be doing it this way. See the difference? So you just share your experience, and then you can then open up that door of possibility for them to experience and experiment on their own. So something that I heard in the masterclass we recently did with Carrie D'Amato, especially if you have someone who is more of a beginner rider or more of an amateur horse owner, and there's a person, quote unquote, of authority there trying to tell them what to do, even though that rider, that horse owner, has something in their heart and it's making them feel different, like maybe they don't want to do what that person is saying. So Carrie mentioned a really simple phrase. She said, you can just say, I'd like to try this on my own, and just leave it at that. So if you have someone pressuring you to do it their way, you can, if you need to, say, hey, that's not okay. But you could also just say, I'd like to try this on my own, and then go about your business. Because ultimately, it's all about what feels right to you and what feels right to your horse. And that's what matters the most. So when you have horses or people that you're feeling sad about and you want to send them love and you're not really sure how to do it, there's a really beautiful Hawaiian forgiveness ritual called 𝙼𝙤𝙬𝙮. And this is something you can do from your home just by placing a hand on your heart and just imagining that being in front of you, whether it's animal or human or spirit that's crossed over. And you can say these 4 phrases. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And that's something I needed to do with the horse that I wish I had spoken up for. Unfortunately, he passed away because of a really scary moment in a training session. And when I witnessed that as a young trainer, I realized that I would never, ever use a tie down while lunging. And that is what I witnessed someone doing with a horse I had previously had been working with. And that was the most gut-wrenching, heart-wrenching thing. And what was really hard is that he was being trained by someone else. Even though I had been working with him for quite a while, the owner decided to go with another trainer. And so he was watching me, looking really concerned, like, why am I not working with him? And that was even harder. So I'm doing this podcast to remind you that it's okay to speak up. It's okay to say, hey, that's not okay. And really start to think of other ways you can work with your horse. So for me, I never use tie downs. I don't even use standing martingales. I'll use running martingales for eventing, but I haven't done that in years anyway. So for now, mostly it's free lunging and then lunging with a cavesson just on their head, but nothing where they're attached so they can move their posture freely. As unfortunately that horse was just so stuck that he reared up and flipped over. And I would never ever want anyone to have to witness that. So I just wanted to say that out loud. And I'm sorry if that hurts anyone's heart right now, but what I did then is those 4 phrases to that horse as often as I could, and I felt like his spirit was there with me, and it was one of the hardest things in my life. So I just wanted to share that with you to let you know that you have the power to make a difference in someone's life, in someone's horse life, and in their life. Because if they're going around doing these kind of things thinking that's just the way things are, they could be setting themselves up for disaster as well as their horse. So don't be afraid to speak up and really feel into your heart with what feels right for you and what feels right for your horse and the horses around you as best you can. Okay, with all that said, the last thing you can do is really take stock of your situation where you are with your horses. And I want you to write down everything that you'd like to change. And you can talk to the barn owner about it. And if there's something in there that's just a line in the sand for you where you feel like if it's not going to change, then you just would not be able to live with yourself to keep going at that barn, then you might need to start looking for another place to board your horse. And that's okay. I know it's hard, but I think it's really important to understand that, again, this place has to be your place of peace. It has to be your happy place. And your horse can feel when you are really confident, really happy, really just enjoying their time, or when there's like that edge about you where you're like, oh, I don't know if that person's going to show up and kind of like throw a wrench into our plans. So I just want to encourage you to really stick up for yourself and for your horse, because you deserve it. You are worthy. You are enough. You always have been, and you always will be. So there you go. Let me know if you have any questions about this. And we do have that masterclass about the art of speaking up. It's on the website. Just go to 𝑖nspiredriding.com. Scroll all the way to the bottom, and you're going to see the little link that says Masterclasses. And you can get the replay of that. It's really valuable information. I think everyone in the horse world should watch it at least once. Thank you so much for listening. Really appreciate your time. Remember to lead with kindness for yourself and for your horse. And may the horse be with you always.